Okay, so the theme for today's Build It with Chris is workflows. So last week, what you saw us do is the database activator. And the database activator, you load your database into it, it follows up on your database for an entire year. So you saw all the way from the start to the finish of launching that campaign. And we got some great feedback. So for all of you that sent in feedback, both on Facebook and email, and even those of you that are at the live event that are taking the time out to do this call, we sincerely appreciate the feedback, and I'm so glad that it's been valuable for everybody. So what we're going to do this week is we're not going to launch a campaign. We're going to utilize one of the tools inside the CRM that is absolutely crucial to understanding whether your campaigns are working, and that is pipelines. And what we can do is we can set pipelines to track everything in your business. So I'm currently here at the 2-day event in Clearwater, Florida. It's absolutely incredible. So I have lost count of the number of these that I've been to. I've been, with Carl and the Mortgage Marketing Animals, as a client for 12 years. And to now be a partner in the organization is absolutely fantastic. And it's unbelievable that the fundamentals are still the exact same, and it's where the majority of the business comes from. And that comes from your database, and it comes from qualified referral partners. If you add those two together, it's probably 90 to 95% of where everybody's business is coming from. So that's what we want to focus on. So last week, we launched the database activator. This week, I'm going to show you how to track results from the campaigns that you're getting inside pipelines. And then next week, we already have our member spotlight or hot seat picked. And we're going to be going through and using a member's account to download a Redder list, which is a list of qualified agents in a local marketplace, and launch them through the executive recruiter campaign. And you're going to watch all the way from the start to the finish of getting the qualified agent list, loading it into the CRM, customizing the campaign, and launching it out. So that's what we've got for next week. So for this week, let's get into our pipelines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load into the CRM. Amy, are we good? Can everybody see the screen here?
Yes, it's just loading. There we go.
Awesome. Okay, so you're going to head into your software, and it's going to show your dashboard. And these are all your different widgets that you have to track all of the different results. And we can see here that we have this, the funnels basically. So you've got opportunity status, opportunity value, conversion rate, funnels, stage distribution. If you click this little pencil icon up in the top right-hand corner, see this pencil icon that says Edit Dashboard? You can click on there and you can edit all of these little, so if I don't want my conversion rate on my dashboard, I can just click Delete, and away it goes. I can click on Add Widget, and I want opportunities, and I want to add my opened opportunities, and count, and opportunity, advanced settings. It's going to show me all my leads that I've put into this actual thing itself. And I like numeric, but you can put a donut chart in here, a line chart, bar chart, just tracking the results that you're putting inside that actual workflow itself. And then, where are we here? So that opened opportunities widget. Click Save. And now I've got opened opportunities. So you can add this with the realtor name and say, this is going to be opened opportunities for, let's say you've got Realtor Bob. So right here on your dashboard, you can see how many referrals you've got from Realtor Bob. So you can have widgets for each of your lead sources, and you can customize this widget to show you how many leads, how many conversations, how many appointments, how many deals. So at any given point, you can log into your CRM and see where you're getting your business from. Are you generating applications from your database, from your qualified agent list? Which agents are actually sending you business? Zillow leads. You can track all of your opportunities right here on the dashboard. Is everybody with me so far? Does that make sense? No? Okay. So, Chris,
Um,
are you
so
in the lobby of
I
the hotel?
no, I'm not. I'm at the workspace.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool. Awesome.
So I, like a few other people, I don't think we have the pencil on our dashboard.
Hmm. Okay, so I'll get Amy to get with the team in the background and make it so that you can access your, so that you can edit your dashboard. So that's
Awesome.
awesome. Thank you for letting
Thank
me
you.
know.
I had
No
the
problem.
same question. Thanks, Chris.
All right.
And Chris.
Awesome. And that's why I love these calls, right? These are the things. So Amy, and that should be a catch-all setting that that goes out on all the different accounts.
I'm gonna dig in and see.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So now we're going to go to opportunities. So over here on the left-hand side, we've got conversations, calendars, contacts, and opportunities. We're going to click on opportunities. All right. So you can see here, this is our tracker for any lead source that we've got. So there's this menu bar here up in the top left-hand corner. When you click on this menu bar, it will show you all of the opportunity pipelines that you've set up inside your system. So each of these is a lead source. So that again, at any time you can click into one of these, and they're all different. So if I go from the executive recruiter and I go to Realtor Partner Jane, this will change, and all of the contacts that I've gotten from Realtor Jane are going to show up here. And now I'm able to see how many leads I've gotten, how many have responded, how many appointments have been booked, how many appointments showed up, how many applications we've taken, and how many deals that we have funded. So from a catch-all, I can go and look and see how every lead source is performing in the business. Everybody with me so far? Okay. So you might want to track some other items. Like let's say it's a financial planner, or let's say it's a deal flow. And you want to say like, okay, when I take an application, when do I have docs submitted? When do I have clear to close? When do I have all of the different milestones in the actual processing part of the deal? So in order to do that, you click on pipelines up here at the top. So we've gone from opportunities here to pipelines right beside it. So you go to the top, you look for pipelines. You're going to click on the big blue button that says create new pipelines. So we've gone into pipelines, create new pipeline. It's going to ask us to name it. This will be the lead source or the process that we are tracking. So in this particular example, we're going to set one up for realtor referrals. Okay. So we're going to say realtor and we're going to say John. So Realtor John is going to send us referrals. So now what are all of the stages or breakage points? I like to call them in a funnel because this is a funnel of all the way of getting a lead to actually submitting a deal and getting paid. Every stage that you have is a conversion point where you're guiding the client through a milestone in the process to get them to closed. Excuse me. So first, we're going to call this contact or opportunity. And all that means is we just got a lead that's in the system. So we're assuming we have a relationship with Realtor John. And we've gone to John with the irresistible offer and we've said, hey, John, we'll follow up on your Zillow leads for you for free. All you have to do is give us your old cold dead leads and your leads, and we're going to follow up on those leads for you for free. So Realtor John says, great, I'm happy to send you my leads. Okay, great. So he's going to send those leads over. They're immediately going to become contacts or opportunities inside the CRM. Then we're going to click on add stage. So what is the next stage in the journey that we want these people to go through? So they're a contact. Well, now we want to have a response. So you can also call this a conversation, right? So we want to put a lead in. They're going to get a bunch of messages through the workflow. So that workflow is going out. That person responds. Awesome. We're going to move them from just being a contact to now being a response. So then I'm going to add a stage because there's going to be a bunch of people in here that move to the next step of an actual appointment booked. So I'm going to say appointment, and you can see my keyboard shortcut pops up. So anytime I type appointment into my computer, it automatically pulls up my appointment booking link from the CRM. So that's for when I'm sending messages to people. So appointment booked. So we have a conversation with that person, they book an appointment. Okay, so the next thing that I want to track from there is, did they show up? So I'm going to call this show up. Did not show up. So now, when you're working with opportunity pipelines, you can set a trigger inside the CRM to run an automation based on you moving somebody from one stage to the next. And I'll show you how to do that after we have this pipeline set up. And we'll fight our way through that because it's been updated, but we'll figure that out together. So, but automatically, when somebody goes from a conversation to an appointment booked, I can have a trigger inside the CRM automatically fire off a set of emails, and email and a text. And so the text message says, thank you so much for booking an appointment. I'm really looking forward to meeting with you on date and time. And it can automatically pull the date and time from the system. So just by you taking this person in a contact card and moving them from, hey, I had a conversation with this person, to I booked an appointment with them, as soon as they hit the appointment booked pipeline stage, it automatically starts sending emails based on the fact that they've booked an appointment. Same thing, if you go in and the person doesn't show up for the appointment, you can move them to did not show up, and it will automatically start sending out emails. Hey, sorry we weren't able to connect. We understand life is busy. We'd love to reschedule your appointment. Click here to reschedule. So you don't have to do anything. All you've done is, hey, this person didn't show up, move them into did not show up. The automations already send the emails because we know what happened based on the pipeline stage that they got into. So we got people that show up, people that don't show up. Our next application stage is going to be application taken. And then our next pipeline stage is going to be, actually, rather than application taken, we're going to call this PALs. So we're going to put them into our pre-approved and looking. And again, when you move somebody into that pipeline stage, you can automatically move them to the Power Dialer. So that when you're making your PALs calls and you're following the daily success plan, they're automatically in the Power Dialer list because they're a PAL. And then when you move them from PALs to deal closed, it will take them out of the PALs calls. So when you go and you use the Power Dialer to do your PALs calls, because you've moved them in the pipeline stage from PALs to deals closed, it's taken that person out of the Power Dialer flow so that you're not calling them. So you can set, one time what you want your process to be from getting a lead, each stage that you want to work these people through, to the end result, and set automations on every stage of the pipeline that they're in. Is everybody with me? Okay, so we'll stop there because that's a fair bit. Does anybody have any questions about that thus far?
Yes, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you. Okay, what if we book the appointment, we get to talk, but hey, listen, I'm not going to be able to talk right now. I would like to reschedule. Is there another way so the emails don't go out saying the wrong things?
Yes, absolutely. So so that would be what we would call, say, a rebook. right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to add a stage here, and I'm going to call this rebook. And then see how there's these little arrows on the left-hand side?
Yes.
So I'm going to click this up arrow on rebook, and it's going to move it up, and then we need it again, and then we need it again. So they either showed up, asked to rebook, or they didn't show up. So now we've got a different stage in the pipeline stage where we can now trigger an automation based off that specific action. So any action that you can think of, you can customize this and make a pipeline stage for it so you can see how many people are in what pipeline stage and how to trigger off an automation because of it.
Got it.
Did that answer the question, Jamie?
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Sweet. Great question. Great question.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Hey, so we can, just like you said with the PALs, we could add another one after PALs with being, say, in contract, and then put them into the Tuesday workflow for following up our Just Ask workflow.
Yep. Absolutely. So we'll call that in contract, just ask. Awesome. Phenomenal.
I did this with Thor's Hammer. I created a 12-week workflow, and after every phone call, it moves them to the next workflow and also moves them along in the opportunities pipeline. So I could see exactly where each realtor is in that 12-week process.
Oh man, that is stellar. That is awesome. Yeah, that might.
Because I didn't want to also have to keep a spreadsheet, to know who I've reached out to. So I just spent time and kind of really learned this as quickly as I could to create that opportunity.
That
Did
is
did you set that up on your own, Mike? Because I was trying to set that up and I was trying to get help with it and I could not get them to help me with it. How'd you figure that out on your own?
A lot of time.
Just time doing it
A
on
lot
your
of
own.
time. Yeah. So what I did was I created 12 power dialers, one for each week. And I created 12 Thor's Hammer workflows, one for each week. So as soon as I trigger Thor's Hammer, it will sequence them through. After the power dialer for week 1, it moves them into the Thor's Hammer workflow. And then from there, I think I remove a tag, then it adds a tag. I forget exactly the steps.
Okay. Thank you.
But if you want to, I would be more than happy to walk you through it.
Mike, I'd love you to teach a class to some of us on that because that's amazing.
Can
I
this
mean,
and
workflows?
hard.
It should be copied and everybody has access to it because I think we all need that for sure.
absolutely. Mike, that is absolutely brilliant. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
And with your knowledge, Chris, I know you could probably just whip it together rather quickly, sooner than later. And I think I shared some of the frustration with some people was that we didn't really understand the Thor's Hammer. How do we follow the sequence? And I'm a visual person. I like to see things. So laying that out, I was like, okay, now this makes sense. I can see exactly where everybody is in the 12-week process.
That's right. So you did an individual power dialer, week 1 power dialer, week 2 power dialer, week 3 power dialer.
Yes. Yeah.
Each individual workflows?
Yes. It's a long way to do it, but I couldn't figure out how. I thought that was the easier way to do it than trying to lump it all into one massive workflow for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And then for like week 1, I could go in and throw in an email. After I leave a voicemail, 10 minutes later, it could automatically send them an email saying, hey, just left you a voicemail. Would love to get in contact with you. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep. Yeah, that's amazing. And I would look at that as an individual campaign or an individual workflow to run people through. For everybody on the call, is that a useful time for you to watch me tear at that? Because that's what Build It with Chris is all about. It's like we have a problem we're trying to solve for members, and you get to see me break this stuff. Might not be perfect, but watching me work the software is
Yes, Mondays are the biggest challenge for me to overcome the call reluctancy. So I was really diving into this program to get the power dollar set up for Mondays. But now that I have the power dollar set up, I can't organize it and to know, like he said, to get it to move to the next week, because then they just disappear. So I got it
Right.
set up and then I had to recreate it. So if I can move it, flow through, set up a voicemail, and then as you said, Mike, have that email flow, and then they get moved to the next week. And then also to know how to tag it, because I was trying to work on this yesterday, and then know how to tag it if, let's say, they answered, but or maybe they scheduled an appointment, to know what to do with them after that. That is, I mean, I think Mondays, everybody probably would agree that that would be helpful. I don't know.
Yep.
I agree with you, and that's exactly why I did it, because I'm relatively new. I don't have a past client database, so my efforts need to be spent on qualified agents. So
Yep.
again, I was just thinking, how do I structure all of this? How do I know what I'm doing from one week to the next? And this is what I came up with.
Yep. That is brilliant. Okay, so let's take a stab at it. And I think conceptually this will help everybody. But again, Amy, let's once we get this and we get this dialed in, like we'll get the rough Frankenstein of it here, but then let's work with Ben and team to get this formalized for that new folder that we're going to be pushing out. That's the MMA folder.
Yes, absolutely.
And let's have that in there. Yes, Chris. Yep. We're working on something cool behind the scenes. It'll be ready probably in a week, of like MMA specific campaigns in a folder. So you can look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they're in an MMA folder of the success activities that we do on each day and the campaigns that line up with them. So it's a lot of it is the same campaigns that we already have, but we've just organized them so that it makes sense when you're following the daily success plan process, because everything's all labeled the same. So it's just an
Chris,
easy
that'll
way.
be so helpful. You know, first time jumping into this, it's overwhelming.
Of course.
Even though I'm a little tech savvy, it's still, you know, with all the pipelines and all the workflows, like it's even your videos are helpful, but there's still a lot in there to digest from the very beginning.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we've got until 12:45 today, so let me give everybody the conception of it. So, is everybody with me on how pipelines work? Yes.
I
Okay.
have a question, Chris.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you say like we put them into PALS and it goes into a PALS follow-up system, we have to create that PALS, or is it already in there in the system?
So you would have to create that.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm showing it like this is because everybody's going to approach this a little bit different. Everybody's going to have a different workflow or a different process. But this is where it all starts. It all starts as you setting up these pipelines, and then you can build automations, but you've got to know what your process is first.
So the pipelines to the left of this that are shaded out, are those what are we using those as models to make them, or are those actually working that we can just change the name and maybe add a few of our things that we want to customize and go with those?
So those are all built to go with existing workflows that we have
Okay.
inside the system. So you'll notice some of the workflows have an update pipeline stage in them. Those will connect to these pipeline stages inside your CRM, so that those automatically update. But it's like, you know, when you're doing the MoveTube leads, you know, it will automatically move people through the MoveTube pipeline that we have, because the workflow and the pipelines are already connected together.
Gotcha. So is there a training that's specific recording that I can watch to get to understand that a little bit better? Or I just go in and start playing with it?
So yes, there is. There's a 14 video series.
Okay, I've seen that. I've just started those. Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
There's one labeled pipelines or
Okay.
workflows. Sorry, it's labeled workflows.
Okay.
That's the one that shows you how the workflows go.
Oh, shoot. By the way, that training that you talked about this morning that you and Carl did, that video, is that recorded somewhere?
The video marketing webinar that we did?
Yes.
So, yes, it's inside the Mortgage Marketing Animals website.
Okay. I looked
what
in there and I
happened
didn't
was-
see it under yours.
No, it would be under Carl's. Amy,
Okay.
can you reach out to Melissa
Yeah.
and get that link and then send that over to Jeff?
Yes, I absolutely can. I do apologize. What link am I asking for? I was responding to somebody else in the chat.
No problem at all. So it is the webinar that we shot on video marketing.
Okay, no problem.
Funny story about that. We did that webinar. We had over 1,000 people registered for the webinar, and we were so worried about making sure that the event was great and that we had everything organized and everything, we forgot to hit the record button.
Oh.
So we did this live webinar, and then we finished it, and he was like, "Did you record that?" I was like, "Did you record that?" "No, dude, I didn't record it. I didn't record it." And so everybody was emailing in looking for the recording. We were like, "What do we do?" So he was traveling, and I was traveling. So he shot his half on his computer. I shot my half on my computer. We stitched them together. So the recording of the event is not actually the live event. It's us having to actually go back and re-record because we forgot to hit the record button. So imperfect action is okay. And I think it's important for all of us to know that, it's okay to make mistakes. It's because the webinar was still a massive success and people got great value from it. And that recording is short, concise, and it's perfect for what you need. So, okay. So pipeline stages, we've got them. We click save. Now we have this pipeline stage. You can see it just popped up at the bottom. So we now have Realtor Jane here. And if I click on that pipeline to edit it with the pencil, you can see it pops up. Oh, no, wait. So it wasn't Realtor Jane. It was Realtor.
Should be John.
John.
Was it John? Okay, perfect. I'm sorry, I get John and Jane. I get my imaginary people mixed up. Yes, there it is. So Realtor John, and it's in there. So away we go. So now if we go back to opportunities and we look for Realtor John, we've got all of the different pipeline stages that we just created along the top. So now we can track contacts and contact cards from the opportunity, the conversation, appointment booked, showed up, rebooked, did not show up, all the way to the deal closed. So now if I click on add opportunity and I put in Chris Johnstone and I've got the information in there, I can add a contact to this and it goes to pipeline Realtor John, stage contact opportunity, open, and away we go. And I click on create. It's now created me as a contact inside the CRM.
I have a question.
And yes.
So if you do that, you create a pipeline. So I want to create a pipeline for deals in process so that we can send out stages. If they don't answer, they can send out stages of your clear close to everybody. Can you do two opportunities one for Realtor John and one for deals in process?
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Okay.
Yeah. And contacts can sit in multiple opportunity pipelines at multiple stages all at the same time.
And you just add the opportunity and it'll trigger the workflow through the pipeline. You don't have to add a tag to it. Is that correct? Or
That
do I
is
have
correct.
to add it? Okay. Okay.
No. I almost always do tag applications on the contacts.
Okay.
Just because I've been working inside CRMs for so long and that was primarily how you used to have to do it. So I'm kind of like a tag junkie, but you don't have to use them, but I will still apply a tag and use the opportunity pipelines, but it is kind of redundant the way that I do it.
Okay. I just want to make sure because the tags are adding up. So I just, they add up. And then do you have to take them out of a tag and to change it? I'm just a little confused on it all. So.
No. So think about tags as a way to organize a contact. So when you're looking at a contact, you can tell in the contact record where they came from, who they came from, all of that information.
Okay,
And you can just look at the tags and have the story of the contact.
okay,
And then,
go ahead.
but sorry, but what you can also do is you can set an automation based off a tag application. So you can say, if I apply this tag to a contact, then run this automation.
That's how I learned it. So if I could do it through a pipeline and an opportunity, I would think I would rather that than run the automation through all the tags, because then you have to remember to remove the tags or change the tags. And so
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I'll keep working with it and ask questions as we go, for sure.
Awesome. And I use both. So that's totally okay.
Hey, Chris,
Yes.
sorry. You know that we have in the MMA the Focus 40, and we have a bunch of Excel sheets for all of those things. Is it possible to create something inside the CRM with all of those instead of creating just for one realtor, but perhaps put every lead that comes in, we're putting the name, who is the realtor, and then the CRM is spitting something out where it gives us all those numbers. So if you ask me, hey, how many leads did you get for the month or for the week, or how many leads did you get from one agent? Just by a click of a button, I'm able to get it from my CRM, because I feel like we're going to need to put information all over the place, and it's time consuming. And it's, after you're done with this one, most probably I'm going to forget half of it. Seriously.
Yes. So that's what I use the opportunity pipelines for. So every lead source that I get, they go into an opportunity pipeline. So if I go back to opportunities, you would create an opportunity pipeline for every realtor that you work with. And then you can see how many leads they've sent you, how many have responded, how many appointments you've booked, how many applications that you took, how many deals you've closed. So up here at the top, see how it says one opportunity? This tracks all of the people that are inside. So you can say, hey, Realtor John has sent me 90 leads. I'm still waiting for, 50 of them are still opportunities. This many I've had a conversation with, this many I've booked appointments with, this many applications. Like, you can just scroll through, and at the top, it keeps track of every number. Like, see how it says one opportunity here?
Right.
So if I had 50 in there, I could just scroll across the top and see, okay, I've got 50 opportunities, 10 appointments booked, 25 of them have already showed up. I've got 6 deals in contract with this realtor, and I've got 10 deals that I've closed with them. So
But I have to go to the particular agent instead of my entire leads for the month or the week.
That's right. That's right. And they're broken down by opportunity. So you can click on Realtor John, and then if you want to check your numbers for Realtor Jane, you just click on Realtor Jane, and it shows her pipeline of all of the results from her pipeline.
There's no way we can create it differently where it's you can see everything and give us a visual instead of clicking on each one.
So you can run a pipeline report and do total, and that will pull in all of the numbers, but it won't give you a breakdown of like each opportunity pipeline, right? So you can see like, okay, how many leads did I get in June? And you can run that and see how many people went into pipelines and how the flow worked. But you can't see the granular stats, because you would then have to go into each individual one and look at them, which is the same as going to the opportunities pipeline. So you can pull a full report for the whole thing, but you lose the granularity of it when you do that.
Got it.
And that's on the dashboard? Is that where you get that?
You can
Like
set
the
that
opportunity
up.
status?
Yes, but there's also this tab here that says reporting.
Mhm.
And so if you click on this reporting tab, where are we here? There are so many things that pop up in these Zoom. Perfect. There we go. Appointment report. So this will show you the overall of the book confirmed, canceled. Oh, that's for calendars. Hold on. It's attribution. I'm going to need Ben's help to find out where they get that reporting from, because this is all call reporting and agent reporting. But I know that there is a pipeline report that we get.
Thank you, Chris. We can all relate to how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, see, that's what Build It with Chris is all about. All right. So yeah, Amy, we got to get with Ben
Yeah.
and have him shoot a little Loom video for the members on how to create that report on the opportunities. Awesome.
You know what? I had a question about that. Is Loom a good thing to use? I use Loom a lot. To, like if I want to add a link in an email or in a text with a video in it, or if I want to upload a video or whatever, bring a video into Lone AI, would that be the right thing to use?
So Loom is great, but what I've started doing is just using the video marketing tool inside the software.
Well, I would do that too. I just didn't know about it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. So if you click on video marketing tool, and then up in the top right hand corner,
New video.
it said new video, and you can shoot that screen share video right there, and then just pick the contact or the tag for the contacts that you want to send it to, and email or text message out that video message to everybody right through the CRM.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, cool. Brand new feature. We just released it. So
Okay.
awesome. Okay, so we're going to run through this automation, and I apologize because I do have a hard stop at 12:45. So we're going to get through one of these automations really quickly. Okay, so we have created the opportunity pipeline, and now we want to create a trigger based on people moving through those opportunity pipelines. So I click on automation on the left-hand side. And then up in this menu at the top, I've got workflows, content AI, campaigns, and triggers. I'm going to click on triggers. There are a whole bunch of pre-done triggers inside the system, but we're going to create a new trigger so that you can see the process of setting this up. So we're going to click on add trigger. So we're going to call this pipeline appointment booked. And I'm not going to put Realtor Jane on it because you can reuse these triggers inside every account. And then I'm not going to put it in a folder. So save. So this is the way that the software works. And you can build these inside workflows as well. This is how the whole software works. Okay. So if somebody does this, then do this. So anything that you can think of inside the CRM, if they do something, then you can tell the software to do something else. And it's a standard programming language, but it's built in a way where almost everything that's actionable inside the CRM, you can do an if, then trigger or automation inside the software. So which event should trigger this automation? So if, hold on here. Do I have an error message popped up somewhere that I can't see because of all these bubbles? Okay, there it is. It was just giving me. So inside your account, if, and then we're going to go to pipeline. We will. So pipeline stage changed. And I'm going to pick the pipeline of in pipeline. And we're looking for Realtor John. So if the pipeline changed in Realtor John, and I move them from pipeline stage, and they go to appointment booked, what action should we perform? We want to add to a campaign of, let's look for appointment booked. Where are we here? There we go. CI appointment reminder. So what's going to happen when I build this trigger is if somebody's in the pipeline of Realtor John and I move them to the pipeline stage of appointment booked, it's automatically going to take that contact and add them to the campaign of CI appointment reminder. So it will automatically start sending appointments to that appointment reminders to that person based on the fact that the appointment is booked. And then I just click on save. Everybody with me so far?
I think so.
So now if I go back to opportunities and I go to Realtor John and I take my contact opportunity card and I move it to appointment booked, voila, my contact record has just been added to a workflow that's going to send me emails and text messages to remind me to show up at the appointment at the set date and time. So the trigger is now running automations based on me just moving somebody inside an opportunities tag. So everybody's with me?
Can you do triggers again, please? I don't have the define action button for below to tell it what to do. I don't know where you did that. I
Okay,
must have-
so automations, and then I go to triggers up here at the top.
Okay,
And then I'm going to go back to that trigger that I just created. So pipeline appointment booked, I'm going to click on there so that I can edit it. I forgot to activate that. So this is where I'm at.
okay.
So what should trigger this rule? So pipeline stage changed, in pipeline, all of this stuff. Now, you can also be granular with this, and you can say, hey, I'm going to add an action to, I can add a tag. So if I want to have a tag on everybody that's booked an appointment, I can add a tag based on the fact that they moved in that pipeline stage. And then I realize this is a big concept, but I could also come over here and I could say, hey, if the event is tag applied, and I change that from moving them in an opportunity to a tag is applied.
I don't have the define filters. Under my event, where it says loan up, I don't have define triggers or define filters. I don't have that.
Define filters.
Right here under where you've got pipeline stage, I don't have the define filters there.
Have
in
you
my system.
selected pipeline stage changed?
I did. Oh, that's where I'm missing it. I'm so sorry.
No, that's why we're here. That is why we're here, and that is a brilliant question. Awesome.
I was like, I cannot find that.
So yes, you have to choose, because technically what you're choosing is the automation. So it could be a pipeline stage changed. You can set the call status. So if you call somebody and you don't get a hold of them, then automatically run an automation. So you can go in here and really look at the power of the automation inside the CRM by looking at all the different things that you can do. So one final thing, and then I apologize, we do have to run, but you can run multiple actions on a contact based on them getting into this opportunity stage or this pipeline stage. So if I've got somebody in the pipeline stage for Realtor John, they book an appointment, I want to add them to the campaign that reminds them to show up to the appointment, but I can also say, hey, look, I want to send an email or a text message. So I could say from you to, and then you would put the contact in there. And your subject is, hey, I'm really looking forward to our appointment. Thanks for booking an appointment with me. And then you can save that action. And so when somebody gets to that pipeline stage, they're automatically added to a follow-up campaign, and there's an initial email that's sent out to them, or a text message, or any other automation that you can think of inside the CRM by somebody moving in the pipeline stage.
Falling confetti.
Only do one, because all of a sudden your brain is going to go, I can automate everything. And you're going to think of 100 different things to do with it. At least that's where my brain goes with it. Just pick one.
Once we automate this, can we add it to the next realtor? Is this one thing? So this is a one time, and every realtor that's given us leads, we can just bring this one program into, correct?
That's right. Yep, you got it.
Chris, where it says from, do you put your email address or what do you put there?
Yes, yeah, you would put your email address in the from.
And 2, is that will pick it up automatically from the
Yes.
contact? Got it.
Yep, you got it. Awesome. Well, was that valuable? Was that helpful?
It was great. It was awesome. Thank you, Chris.
Yes? Okay, cool. If you have follow-up questions, if you need additional support, we're here for you in the Facebook group. Everybody has an account manager that you can reach out to. Our account management team, we're working on some languaging within the internal team, and we are very much focused on learning the word yes. And so your question, our answer, yes. Insert question here. Can you help me build? Can you help me with? The answer is yes. Yeah.
How do we know who our account managers are?
So you would have got an introduction email.
Okay.
But Amy, that question came from Denise. So let's have a secondary introduction sent from the account manager over to Denise to make sure that she is taken care of. But for everybody here, you can always email support. So support@connectionincorporated.com. That will come in. It goes to a ticketing system that everybody's a part of. And then we're basically assigning those out to the success coaches from there. So that will, that will get you to the right person as well. So support@Connection Incorporated as well. Thank you for the props on the t-shirt. This is brand new. We just got these this morning for the live.
Mine's
event.
blank.
So we're working on getting these out to the team. I feel like these are going to be like Breakfast Club t-shirts in a little bit, where we're going to have to start giving these away to members. So yeah, Alan wants a t-shirt. So we're working on it. We're working on it. So thank you everybody for spending time here on Build It with Chris. I am so stoked to see you next Friday. Until then, have fun. I'll see you in the Facebook group, and I'll see everybody next Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye,
Chris.
everyone.